Hey guys, Serac here, and today I'm going to bring you my Cyber Dragon deck. Now, first thing first, you want to get 3 copies of the Cyber Strike structure deck, which came out last year. Do not pay more than £10 a copy. As always, prices will be in the corner, and I'll be treating it as if you've bought 3 copies, so all the cards from that deck will be £30, and then the rest of the deck will have prices as always. So, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. This is obviously the mainstay of the deck. Unfortunately, I only have 1 secret rare speed duel copy, but it comes in the deck, so don't worry too much about that. It's a level 5 light machine, can special summon itself from the hand. We are blinding second with this deck if your opponent controls a monster. Obviously, it's a key piece in a lot of our fusions, in a lot of our spells, although quite often we don't actually summon this card, we're just dumping it or using cards that are treated as having its name. Obviously, it's also a level 5, which is useful for some Xyz plays. We then have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz. Hertz becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard, and then if it's special summoned, you can make its level become 5, and then it will lock you into machines. And if it goes to the graveyard, you can add 1 other Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand. Note, it has to be a Cyber Dragon. It's not Cyber Dragon card. It has to be a Cyber Dragon, and they're not treated as Cyber Dragons in the deck. They're only treated as Cyber Dragons on the field or in the graveyard. So it can only search vanilla Cyber Dragon. Just an important note to reiterate there. We then have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Core becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. There's a bit of a pattern here. If it's normal or special summoned, you get to add a Cyber spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And then if only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish it from the graveyard and special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. Okay. Note this says Cyber Dragon monster, so it can be any monster with the words Cyber Dragon in its name, unlike Hertz, which specifically states Cyber Dragon. Okay. Other than that, again, very, very useful card. Lets us search whatever piece we need from our spell and trap lineup, and provides us with extension if we're going second. We play 1 Cyber Dragon Naxter. Naxter can also become Cyber Dragon when it's on the field or in the graveyard. And then you can discard a monster, special summon this card from your hand. If it's normal or special summon, target a machine-type monster with 2100 attack or defense in the graveyard, special summon it, and then it locks you into machines. Again, very useful extension, very useful way of dumping stuff into the bin, such as other Cyber Dragons, such as Hertz, and just very useful way of getting through some plays. And again, it's treated as a Cyber Dragon, but it can be normal summoned, unlike Cyber Dragon with its restrictions. 1 Cyber Dragon Fear. Fear becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Plot twist if you've heard that before. If you normal or special summon Cyber Dragon, except during the damage step, special summon this card from your hand, and then each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. Very useful for pushing through for extra damage in the later portions of the game, and also just very simple and very nice extension for you. We then play 1 copy of Cyberdark Chimera. Now this is a way to combo to search Power Bond, which is one of the easiest ways this deck has of OTKing, and lets us fuse from our graveyard. So by discarding a spell trap, note it has to be a spell trap, don't go down this combo path if you don't have a spell trap to discard. You get to search Power Bond, and then you can, when you fusion summon this turn, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as material, and then its other effect doesn't matter because we're not playing any other Cyberdark monsters in the deck. We are just playing this as a one-off with a copy of Horizon to search the Power Bond. 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. This helps us make more rank 5 plays. Obviously, we can discard Cyber Dragons and things for it. It helps unlock some clunky hands by just getting monsters into the bin where they're treated as Cyber Dragon, by getting itself out of the deck, and by putting more rank 5s and link material onto the board where we can use it. 1 Jizukiru, the Star Destroying Kaiju. This is obviously a very important card for breaking boards, it can be searched with Cyber Repair Plant, and obviously, because it's a light machine, and just, obviously, Kaijus are just a very useful panic out button to really sticky boards. For our hand traps, we're playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler. This needs no introduction. It's still very, very good. It's still very, very useful. Yeah, there's very little more to say about it. We know what Effect Veiler does, and I'll keep explaining what Effect Veiler does. We then play our classic Gamma package. This is a hard second deck. If you Gamma a person at the right point, it can just end their turn. We don't really care about any of the drawbacks of this because we are blinding second and aiming to OTK straight away. So if we can just stop their play, such as when they go through a Hulk line or similar, then we can just end their turn and then easily OTK through that. For our spells, we play 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. This searches any light machine monster that can't be normal, summoned, or set, which is irrelevant for us and because we're not playing Drytron, or 1 Cyber Dragon monster, which is relevant for us. And then if it's destroyed by, if it's negated, and goes to the graveyard, you can discard a card and add it back to your hand. Okay. Main thing we care about is the fact that this searches a copy of Cyber Dragon, or Cyber Dragon Core, or Cyber Dragon Hertz, or any of them. It's just very, very useful for that, and it obviously can be searched with Cyber Dragon Core. 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Now, this is obviously very, very funny when you normal summon a Hertz, and then you play Machine Duplication, and you get to summon 2 normal Cyber Dragons out of your deck, because Hertz is treated as Cyber Dragon on the field, and it doesn't say that, it just says it has to have the same name, which it does. It doesn't have to be the same card. In fact, the only cards you can summon are Cyber Dragons, because it's called Cyber Dragon on the field. Then we play 1 Cyber Repair Plant, very useful, lets us search any light machine monster if Cyber Dragon is in the graveyard. So we only play 1 of these because it requires some graveyard setup, and again, we can search it with Core, and it can also shuffle a light machine monster back into the deck from the graveyard. Generally, we're just going to be adding the card from the deck to the hand. And it can search Jizukuru as well to out some gummy boards. We play 2 copies of Cyberload Fusion. This lets us shuffle from face-up banished or from field. And then it can't attack for the rest of the turn except that special summon monster, so this is the last thing you do. Obviously, it lets us dodge removal and things through being quick play, lets us push for extra OTKs, and it's just a generally nice fusion spell with things like Overload Fusion and Cyberdark Chimera. We play 1 Power Bond. Power Bond is our search target for Chimera, obviously, and it's very, very useful for OTKs. This plus Cyber Twin or Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon just ends the game out of absolutely nowhere, and the downside is borderline irrelevant, especially when we can fuse from our bin as well with the effect of Cyberdark Chimera. 1 Overload Fusion, again, much the same. It summons from the graveyard, lets us make Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon very, very easily. 1 Cyberdark Realm. This lets us search Cyberdark Chimera, and obviously we can search this through Cyber Dragon Core, and then it lets us immediately normal summon the Chimera we've just searched as well, which means we can then search for Power Bond, which then means we can end the game. The rest of it is borderline irrelevant. We only care about the fact that we search Chimera with this, and then we can normal summon it to get the search. We play 1 Regeki, because sometimes you just got to nuke the board, and this deck can OTK on an empty board so easily, and this will force every single negate under the sun because they have to respect it. We play 1 Monster Reborn. This could be Cyber Rev System, but because it's searchable, but that card is a little bit more expensive, and I wanted to keep this deck under £100 with the 3 structure decks included, so we're playing Monster Reborn. It's generic. It can technically special summon a Galaxy Soldier or something similar if we need to special summon that instead. For our traps, we play one Cybernetic Overflow. This lets us manage, obviously, Cyber Dragons with different levels from hand, face-up, field, or graveyard, then destroy an equal number of cards. Does not target, it just destroys, so it decides at resolution. And then if it's destroyed by a card effect, we get to search a spell or trap from the deck to the hand. Note, we can destroy this with Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, because it doesn't say opponent's card effect. And then we can search a cyber spell or trap if we need to. And then finally, because we can play this, because it comes in the deck, we get 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Obviously, it has Cyber Dragon Infinity on it, so we have to play it in the Cyber Dragon deck. Target face-up monster, its effect becomes negated until the end of the turn. Then if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution, for the rest of the turn, all other spell trap effects in this column are negated. Do not forget the Imperm column. Do not forget the Imperm column. Note, it applies to your field as well. Don't activate stuff in your own Imperm column. Everyone has done it. And then if you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. It's still the best generic trap card in the game. Thankfully, it has a reprint, so it is available. It's the reason this deck got scalped. Do not pay scalped prices for this deck. It's not worth it. Okay? But pick up the deck to get your copies of Imperms. That ends the public service announcement. So, on to the extra deck. This is a 14-card extra deck because I couldn't think of a 15th. The ideal 15th would be a copy of Zeus, but I wanted to keep this under £100, so I cut the copy of Zeus for this. We have 2 copies of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This is 2 Cyber Dragon monsters. When it's fusion summoned, you can target spell traps on the field up to the number of materials used for its fusion summon, destroy them. Once per turn, send 2 Light Machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard. For each monster sent, it gains 1 additional attack. This plus Power Bond makes very, very easy OTKs. Obviously, it also clears problematic back row. It can destroy your own overflow to get a search. And it attacks multiple times with Power Bond at several thousand attack. 4,200 to be precise. So yeah, this is one of the easiest ways to end games. It's generic and very, very easy to make. Similarly, we have Cyber Twin Dragon. This fulfills a very, very similar role. Obviously, it doesn't have the back row destruction and can only attack twice, but hits a higher attack margin with Power Bond, which can be relevant when dealing with some big towers type monsters. Things like Marincess and so often make a monster that is more than 4,200, so we would need to make something like Cyber Twin Dragon in those situations. For our other Chimera Techs, we play 1 Fortress Dragon. If your opponent leaves a Therion or any other machine like that on the field, maybe a Sky Striker monster, then you just go whoop and steal it with Fortress Dragon, or if it's in the EMZ, you get to steal it with Mega Fleet Dragon instead. Both of these cards are very much removal spells first rather than anything for OTKing. Yes, the damage can be nice, but generally these are removal spells first and foremost. We then, for our Xyz monsters, play 2 copies of Infinity and 2 copies of Nova. Now, Nova, we can actually use its effect because we get to special summon Cyber Dragons from the graveyard, which is great and gives us removal. And it can also give some extra attack to itself if you need the extra push of damage. Okay, and then also note, if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon any machine type fusion monster from your extra deck. And then Infinity, it can be Xyz summoned using Nova, very important. And then once per turn, target a face-up attack position monster on field, attach it to this card as material, and then it's an Omni Negate as well, and gains 200 attack for each material underneath it. Very important cards if you can't OTK, or in the event that you are made to go first. We have 1 Cyber Dragon Ziga. Ziga is a very funny card that lets us push for even more damage, because suddenly your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon is 6,300, not 4,200. If it's not declared an attack, you can target a machine monster you control with 2100 or more attack. It gains 2100 attack and defense, and neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card. Note, it can still attack afterwards, but it has to have not attacked first. But you can still obviously attack over, give something attack over something with this, and then attack for lethal with what you boosted. For our generic non-cyber cards that we're playing one Constellar Pleiades, very nice, rank 5. Obviously, we play rank 5, we play level 5 light monsters, so why not play the best level 5 light Xyz monster that we can? Quick effect bounce is always useful. One Liner the Light Charmer Lustrous. This is primarily a light deck, and we can make Liner. Sometimes you'll machine lock yourself and you can't make it, but it's a very good generic card that can give us a search, or can bring something back from our opponent's bin to allow us to extend our plays. We then have one Salamangreat Almirage. This puts Hertz in the bin for us to get us a search. It's very, very important for that regard. Or just puts any other Cyber in the bin where it's treated as Cyber Dragon, and then we can extend from there. And finally, one Relinquished Anima. Very, very useful removal. Very underrated at the moment. Again, puts the copy of Hertz in the bin and provides us with removal. So that is Cyber Dragon. For the entire deck, this will be under £100. As I said, the biggest upgrade for it would be a copy of Zeus, which is obviously a very nice card to put on top of a Spent Infinity or similar. But other than that, I really hope you enjoyed that deck, and please remember to like and subscribe and share the content if you enjoy it, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.